It's ESPNU's coverage of the Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series presented by Burger King. Football is big in the state of Ohio, even bigger between conference rivals. Today, it's the Wildcats of Hilliard Davidson and the Westerville South Wildcats, both out of the Ohio Capital Conference. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the Horseshoe here in Columbus, Ohio Stadium. And football players all over the country dream of playing here someday, especially if you grow up in the state of Ohio. I'm Clay Matvick, and I've got a couple of partners today, including a guy who played here collegiately, John Berger, a former kicker for the Buckeyes, and he played on this field. What's it like?
It's unbelievable. I mean, the passion for high school sports and college sports, obviously, but as a young high school player coming into the stadium and getting an opportunity to play against your conference rivals, those guys are really going to enjoy this opportunity, and you're going to see that come out with some extra motion on the football field.
Craig Hobbert is an expert on high school recruiting. He's from ESPN Scouts Inc. And Craig, for those players who already aren't on Scouts' radars, this is a great opportunity today.
Yeah, sure, Clay. You're on a national stage here. You get to showcase your ability. Some college coaches may be tuning in. So this is a great opportunity to go out there if you don't have a scholarship yet, or if you don't feel like you're getting the respect you deserve, you can go out here on a national televised game, show people what you can do.
All right, let's take a look at some of the impact players, Craig. And this is presented by the United States Marine Corps.
Yeah, let's start off first with Westerville South. Two wide receivers are guys we need to watch out for. Jack Tomlinson, committed to Ball State. Not very big, but once he catches the ball, he's able to gain yards after the catch. It's very explosive. And speaking of explosive, wide receiver Ryan Barber, he's a track guy, so he could straight out fly. Now for Hilliard Davidson, they run the option, and that will be led by Jake Trubiano. Now this young man is very smart, runs that offense very well, has a good arm, but you're not going to see him throw the ball much. He will be handing off a lot to Rico Butler. Once again, only about 5'7", but this guy's very good, despite not having great height, of running between the tackles.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on those guys. And John, why don't you tell everybody about the differences between the high school game and the college game?
Yeah, differences are slight, but they do exist. The length of the quarter, it's a shorter game at the high school level. In terms of the kicking game, there's a couple of things that impact the score of the game and field position. Obviously, kickoffs in high school, you start at the 40. So if you have a guy that can put it in the end zone, that changes the complexion of the game from a field position perspective. The other two things in the kicking game are that the goalposts are wider at the high school level. You can also use a block or kick off a tee, which adds extra distance to your field goal kickers.
So these goalposts are narrower than what these players are normally going to see throughout the regular season. And the hashes are closer together here at Ohio Stadium than what you'd find on a normal high school football field. Hilliard Davidson won the toss, but they have deferred, so Westerville South will receive. Westerville South, the Wildcats, in the white uniforms with the red helmets. Hilliard Davidson, also the Wildcats, they're in the blue tops and the white helmets. Jack Tomlinson is back deep to return this kick for Westerville South. J.D. Detmer puts his foot into it, and the season is underway for these two conference foes. Here comes Tomlinson across the 20-yard line, down at the 24, and Hilliard Davidson thinks they have it, and they do. A turnover on the opening play of the game, and what a break for Hilliard Davidson. It's recovered by Kenny Klatt. Check that, Drew Morrison in on the recovery.
Drew Morrison coming down the field. I think Kenny Klatt was the first guy to hit the ball carrier, and Chase Delandy actually jars the football loose. What a huge special teams play early in this ball game, playing a conference foe, jarring the football loose on the return, and then Hilliard Davidson jumps on the football. Great field position here to start the ball game.
There are no replays in the high school football game, and if people are expecting to see a replay there to maybe overturn that call on the field, it's not going to happen at the high school level. Jake Trubiano is the quarterback for Hilliard Davidson. Here's the first play. It's to Rico Butler. We talked about him in the impact segment, and he's got a first down. It's a 13-yard pickup for the Wildcats. And the offense led by Jake Trubiano, the quarterback. And he is in charge of running this option attack, guys. It's modeled after the one run at the Naval Academy.
Yep, you'll see a similar offense at both Air Force, Navy, and Georgia Tech. It's a true triple threat or triple option offense, and Jake Trubiano is the trigger man. He's got great decision-making skills, and he's also very mobile, which allows him to pick up yardage on the ground, which is key when you're trying to move the chains.
Split backfield behind Trubiano. First down and 10 at the 12-yard line. Good play there. No room to run. Trubiano, and a reminder that the starting lineups for both teams running across the top of your screen. Murtada Jabi, the defensive end, with the big play there. It's a loss of 2.
This is going to be an interesting game because it's contrasting styles. You know, they run the option. Hilliard Davidson takes a lot of discipline. Westerville South, they want to blitz a lot, and that could sometimes lead to big plays. It could be interesting to see these two different styles clash offensively and defensively.
Hilliard Davidson went 11-2 last year, coming off a fine season. Get off on the right foot here. Trubiano takes it himself. Gets it inside the 10-yard line before Miguel Alicia, the safety, comes over to knock him out. It's going to bring up third down and fairly long.
Yeah, Clay, a couple of things to keep in mind early in this ball game, and Craig just touched on it. With an option offense, Westerville wants to blitz you. They'll do it 70% of the time. In an option offense, you get past that one of 2 ways. You either get north and south early with a quick hitter, or you go play action. That's something to keep an eye on here as they're in the red zone.
Third down and 7, just underway, first quarter. Hilliard Davidson trying to take advantage of a turnover. Play fake. Trubiano rolling to his right, throws to the end zone, man open, touchdown. Spencer DeLandy, the fullback, and Hilliard Davidson strikes first, taking advantage of a Westerville South mistake.
Yeah, that's key because this game last year they played each other. Westerville lost 35-0, and they committed 5 turnovers in that game. So here they are right out the bat turning the ball over.
Jake Trubiano buys himself time, which you didn't see as DeLandy had to come all the way across the line of scrimmage. He came to the backside, but give credit to Jake Trubiano on that one for buying enough time to let Spencer DeLandy clear and then hits him for the big score.
And not just trying to run. He kept his eyes downfield, saw the open receiver in the end zone.
J.D. Detmer, second-year starter, coming on for the extra point. And he's got it. And it's 7-0 Hilliard Davidson.
We talked so many times about momentum and how special teams can change a ball game, and we saw it on the first play. Hilliard Davidson comes down, he jars the football loose. The next play, Rico Butler takes it left side, huge play. They have all the momentum on their side, and then finally Jake Trubiano buys himself time, scrambles, allows his receiver to get open, delivers the ball to Spencer DeLandy. Great start to Hilliard Davidson.
Street Varsity Football Series is presented by Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And in part by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. And LifeLock, #1 in identity theft protection. The Hilliard Davidson Wildcats jar the opening kickoff loose. 4 plays later, they're in the end zone. And it's 7-0 Hilliard Davidson over their rivals, Westerville South, from the Ohio Capital Conference. There's Brian White. He's now in his 10th year as head coach at Hilliard Davidson. His 12th season as a varsity head football coach. And he fancies himself, guys, as a defensive coach. And you can see already, this is a hard-hitting team.
Yep, it is. And anytime, typically, when you see those types of coaches that come from a defensive background, they're a very physical team. And that plays well in the state of Ohio, especially when you have an option offense, because going up and get your ones versus ones, it makes both sides of the football better. Interesting
look by the kicking unit. They bluff an onside kick, but now Detmer back, puts his toe into it. And this is going to get into the end zone for a touchback. So now we'll see that Hilliard Davidson defense for the first time as Tevin Favor leads Westerville South out onto the field for the first time. Favor named the starting quarterback after senior Jonathan Jennings went down with a broken collarbone in camp. So this is going to be interesting for Westerville South to see how Favor reacts here today.
Yep, it's going to be interesting because anytime you have a quarterback that doesn't necessarily have as much experience as the starter, you want to ease him into the game. So look for them to rely a little bit on the run game early in Ja'Shawn Jackson just to get the offense in sync.
Favor going deep, wants it all on the first play and comes up empty at midfield. Favor throwing it deep down the field. It was intended for Jack Tomlinson, but it's incomplete.
Favor's trying to get downfield. He had plenty of time. He just overthrew his receiver right there. It was an interesting play selection because you would think with a quarterback that is trying to gain his confidence, he wouldn't go up top that early, but obviously they have a lot of confidence in him, and the offensive line had good protection up front there. We'll see what their play selection here is on second down.
Starting lineups rolling across the top of your screen. Out of the gun, Favor on second down and 10, throws it out to the near flat. It's caught at the 20, and it's going to be a 2-yard pickup there for Ryan Barber, one of the fastest football players right here in the state of Ohio. And it's going to bring up third down and 8. There is Rocky Pintello, Westerville South's head coach, also the team's offensive coordinator, now in his 19th season at Westerville South, and you can see an impressive record.
Yeah, he's been with this program since 1991 as the head football coach. Led him to a state final in 1994. He's done a lot with this program.
Favor on third and 8. Hands off for Ja'Shawn Jackson. Tries to escape a tackle at the 23. Can't do it. He's pulled down by Alex Schmidt, the starting nose guard. It's a gain of 2. It's going to bring a punting situation up here for Westerville South.
This is going to be interesting to see because they lost their punter. And Coach Rocky Pintello told us, don't be surprised to see us keep faking it or going for it. So it's be interesting to see if they're going to go ahead and kick or if there's a fake on hand here.
Austin Parks won the starting punting job, but we'll see if indeed he punts. He's standing at the 10-yard line. Low snap. Here's the kick. He did get it away, and it's not too bad. In fact, a fair catch called for by David Carraher at the 40-yard line. So I think you have to grade Austin Parks there an A. I mean,
I'll give him an A on that first shot.
Not too bad. 36-yard kick as we go to break. 10:50 to go here in the first quarter. Back at the legendary Horseshoe Ohio Stadium here on the campus of Ohio State. Hilliard Davidson out to a great start. Where are these schools from that are taking part in this Kirk Herbstreit varsity series? Well, they're mostly from Central Ohio, but we've got a couple of outstate teams as well. We saw St. Thomas Aquinas earlier. Orange Lutheran out of California we'll see tomorrow. But Hilliard Davidson and Westerville South guys out of the same conference. They know each other very well. Last year, the game was a rout. Hilliard Davidson won it 35-0, but both teams expect a much better game this time around. Hilliard Davidson on offense now, and running the football is Jake Trubiano. He's going to pick up about 5 hard yards. Taven Howell, strong side linebacker, makes the tackle as we take a closer look at what Hilliard Davidson is all about. It's a fairly new school since 1990. So that makes it all the more impressive what Brian White has been able to do there with that program.
Yeah, in a short amount of time, he's built this up. We've talked about Coach Rocky Pintello being there since 1991 as a head coach, and here Hilliard Davidson has become a rival of theirs, only being established since 1990.
Trubiano on second down and 5 under center. He spins and hands off to the first man through. And it's Rico Butler, brought down by Murtada Jabi, number 44. Jamar Williams also there on the tackle. It's a gain of 2. Bring up third down and 3. Hilliard Davidson, guys, has 8 starters back on offense, 5 on defense. They won the Ohio Division I state championship in 2006. The first Columbus area school to do so. What a feather in Brian White's cap. Third down and 3. 3 receivers lining up to the near side with a split backfield. Westerville South bringing the blitz. Penalty flag comes in. Maybe they got across the line too soon.
Looks like actually Rico Butler.
Right to the snap. Delay of game on the offense. 5 yards, 3rd down.
Walt Brown with the call. And this is going to go against the Hilliard Davidson Wildcats.
Anytime as an offensive lineman and it's 3rd down and short like that, and you see the defense coming up and you know a blitz is coming, especially early in the season. We saw that last game as well. You get the jitters and that'll clean itself out, but don't be surprised to see some of those things going on early in the ball game.
And Butler might be a little more rusty than everybody else. This is his first game in some time. He suffered an ankle injury mid-season last year and missed a good part of the second half of the season. 3rd down and 8 now after the penalty. And now we're going to get a timeout called by Brian White. He's going to walk out onto the field to talk things over with his guys. And probably not happy with the penalty, maybe not happy with the call, but he's going to straighten things out. We're just underway here in this game between a couple of great rivals. 7-0 Hilliard Davidson on top. Next weekend, college football gets underway. This weekend across the country, the high school football season begins. A good start to this one for Hilliard Davidson against their rivals Westerville South, leading 7-0. They've got the football at their own 41-yard line after the timeout. Jake Trubiano, the quarterback, on the pitch. Gets it back to Spencer DeLandy, but he is stuffed out. Derek Jones, the weak side linebacker, leading the charge. It's a loss of 3.
That was a great job by Derek Jones. That's how you have to play the option. He stayed in position. He kept leverage, kept his outside arm free. You see this right here being blocked, in a position to make a play. So much about the option is not flying to the ball, but staying and keeping your assignment. And that's exactly what Jones did right there. He stayed home and was in position to make a play.
So now the Wildcats will have to punt. J.D. Detmer, who also does the kicking, comes on. Jack Tomlinson back to return, standing at his 15-yard line. And now Rocky Pentello has called a timeout as Westerville South wants to iron a few things out. So each team has burned an early timeout. Sunday afternoon, ESPNU delivers 2 high school football games. First at noon. Here in Columbus, we're going to see the Olentangy Liberty Patriots take on the Dublin Kaufman Shamrocks. Then at 3:30, the Orange Lutheran Lancers take on the Pickerington Central Tigers. Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series presented by Burger King right here on ESPNU. That's coming up tomorrow. And, you know, so far we've had a lot of fun here. We saw St. Thomas Aquinas, the #1 team in the country, absolutely have its way with a pretty good Upper Arlington team in game 1 here this afternoon.
Yeah, I was impressed because a lot of times at the high school level, you see teams, you read them in the paper and magazines, and it's like, oh, they're the #1 team in the country, but it's hard to put a team's name to assign that until you've really seen them. You know what I'm saying? And I was just really impressed because I really thought early in the game that there would be some sort of battle up front, and that game was never in question. They played so strong up front at the point of attack, and the skill guys, they have a ridiculous amount of skill on that team.
Good snap. Wobbly kick that's going to bounce out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That's a 27-yard punt for J.D. Detmer, and now Westerville South goes back on offense. Located in Westerville, Ohio. And they have produced the likes of Andy Katzenmoyer, Lance Moore, and Kajana Carter. And all of those guys, gentlemen, still very close to Rocky Pentello's program.
Yeah, you know, that's how you build tradition. You get those guys who go on and able to put together good college careers or make it to the NFL like those guys, and they come back, and that's what makes the younger guys want to get better. They want to continue that tradition. They want to try to reach the heights that those former players did.
How much energy does Rocky have? And if you could bottle it and sell it, you'd be a millionaire. On 1st down and 10, Kenny Klatt, the inside linebacker, wrapping up his man, Jay-Sean Jackson. And it'll be a pickup of about 3 yards on the play.
A couple of things to keep in mind here early, guys, is with Jonathan Jennings out, going down with that injury, Tevin Favor comes in at the quarterback position, has been feeling a little bit of pressure and filling those shoes. Don't be surprised if we see number 15, Evan Lease, but I really expect him to work Jay-Sean Jackson, number 22, the running back, and then try to go downfield in the vertical passing game to number 5, Jack Tomlinson, for the big hitter.
2nd down and 7. Favor The play fake, now wants to go deep down the middle of the field. Has a receiver, but it's thrown into coverage and knocked down, incomplete. Casey Topp, the field corner, doing a good job shadowing his man to knock it away.
It certainly it was one of those shots you just talked about, John, and obviously he's showing a lot of confidence in Tavon. Favor, let him throw. He's got him beat, but what happens is the ball hangs up there too long. It allows the secondary help to come over the other corner to come by. Now you look at Favor here. He gets a little bit of pressure, but he had enough time. You've got to get that ball in there quicker, though, because he allowed what happened with the receiver, beat his man, but the ball hung up there too long, allowed the defense to rally to the ball and knock it down.
Favor has been a very good high school quarterback, but always behind Jonathan Jennings, who, like we said, is hurt. So he's getting his opportunity, trying to take advantage of it. Another play fake. He wants to run this time. And he's bumped out at the 44 by Chase Delandy. A couple of Delandys on this Hilliard Davidson team, and both play important roles. Chase, the brother of Spencer, both in that Hilliard Davidson secondary. So it's going to bring up 4th down and about 1.
4th and 1. I don't think there's any question they're going to go for it here, considering the challenge that they've had in the punting game.
That's what they're going to do. Let's see what Rocky Pentello calls here on 4th and 1. Davidson showing blitz, now backing off. And now we're going to get another timeout called by Westerville South. It's amazing how much that one aspect of a special team can change the entire dynamic.
Yep, it changes. First of all, it gets you excited, but the momentum switch, and it kind of takes the air out of the other team. That first play, all that excitement and all that buildup and everything you've worked on for the summertime, and then on the first play, you cough the football up. 2 plays later, you go in for an easy score, and it just changes the entire complexion of the ball game.
And most coaches, I think, would tell you that coming into the first game this season, punt protection is one of the biggest headaches because it's very difficult to practice. You got to get those guys all together on the same page because you don't want a big momentum turner with a block punt. And you add into the mix for Westerville South. Their starting quarterback, Jonathan Jennings, was also their punter, so he's out of the mix. So now they're trying to break in a new punter, trying to make sure everybody's picking up the right blocks.
I'm alongside John Berger, former Buckeye kicker, and Craig Hobart, who works for ESPN Scouts, Inc. He knows high school football and recruiting like the back of his hand. And he has been one of the architects of the ESPN 150, which is rolling across the top of your screen. Also, the top 5 players that ESPN Scouts, Inc. has rated at each position in the country is rolling across the top of your screen. Keep an eye on that throughout the game. So Westerville South wants to punt here. It's Austin Parks, number 42, back to kick, but it's to the short man, Jack Tomlinson, and he rumbles for a first down. Like you said, Rocky Pentello told us, watch for the fake.
I mean, short yardage, it was worth going for. If you don't feel like you're going to get a good punt, he said he was going to try it, and that he did. It worked out to good success, kept the drive alive.
They needed a big play, and they just direct snack to Jack Tomlinson. Now, with those challenges in the punting game, this may not be the first time you see it, but they got the big play. It's going to be a big momentum shift here. Now the offense comes out. Instead of punting the football, it's first down. You've got pretty good field position here to start your 3rd drive.
Pentello told us that the one thing is, I know that Hilliard Davidson knows we're probably going to fake it every play, but they were able to get a first down regardless. An 11-yard pickup. It's 1st and 10 at the 45 as they're in Hilliard Davidson territory. Running here is Jackson. He takes it to the outside. Chase Delandy on the stop, but there is a penalty marker on the play after the 7-yard gain.
On Jason Jackson, I think somebody got their hand up in the mask. It might be the 5-yard variety, but I want to go back to Westerville's offense. After that fake punt here, they last 2 plays.
5 yards or on the defense.
The last 2 offensive plays, the offensive line has got some movement up front on the Hilliard D-line, so they're starting to get some more confidence built on the offensive side of the football.
This is a unit only bringing back 1 starter in their center, Mike Bell. So there's a lot of new faces up front there, so maybe it's going to take a little bit of time for them to gel. Like I said, John, maybe now a couple of snaps underneath their belt, they're starting to come together a little bit better. The checkout number 71, left tackle Ray Small, 6'7", 320 as a junior. That's a big boy right there.
Yeah. Size alone is going to get him some D1 looks, you think. First and 10 now, coming up on 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Handoff to Jackson. He hurdles a potential tackler at the 30-yard line and gets down to the 27. It's a 7-yard pickup. Alex Schmidt finally able to call him.
There's a good shot of the big guy right there. He did a nice job on that play. He came down, helped wash down the defensive line, didn't really let them establish their position. They were able to run for a good game. But like you said, Clay, when you're that big, you're going to garner some interest just because people like that don't grow on trees. It's hard to find a guy who's 6'7", 320, and he's still a 2011 prospect. There's still some growing to be done to that kid. So he's definitely somebody to put on the radar for that 2011 class to watch for.
7th play of the drive on 2nd and 3. It's a running play. Jackson picking his way across the 25-yard line to the 24. It's going to be short of the first down. Zach Walker, the defensive tackle, making the stop. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1. Jackson is built low to the ground, 4.5 speed. And Rocky Pintello calls Jackson his little bowling ball.
Jackson is the perfect back for that zone read play at the high school level because not only does he have the power to pick up positive yardage when he gets hit early, but he's got enough speed on that play to get to the perimeter and create some big plays for you.
He's lined up to the left of Faber. And he's going to come across and pick up the handoff, and he's got the first down and more. Down to the 10-yard line, a gain of 14. Delandy made what might have been a touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, just exactly what I just said there. Jason Jackson, it's a zone read play, and they read that backside zone, and he just gets north and south. I like his patience here, waiting for the blocks to get set up, and once he finds a crease, he hits that crease at full speed with a big gainer, moves the stick, setting up a big first down.
Like I said, John, a lot of times the young guys, they get the ball, they start heading towards the perimeter, they want to keep going to the sideline. It was a wonderful job by Jackson in seeing the crease, turning up, and getting what he can.
First down and 10. Again, it's Jackson. Nice cutback. Touchdown. Jason Jackson from 10 yards out, and Westerville South is on the board for the first time today.
It was a good drive, showed a lot of dominance up front. We talked about Ray Small in the center, Mike Bell. They helped open up a lot of running lanes on that drive.
With Jonathan Jennings, the quarterback, out, a lot more pressure put on this Westerville South running game. That means Jason Jackson has to perform, and he really did on that drive. And the extra point attempt is good from Clay Props, and we're tied at 7.
How many times have we seen it, guys, when a special teams play provides a spark for a football team, and Westerville needed that. They got down early, they run the fake punt, they pick up the first down, then the offensive line comes out with an attitude, and they start executing up front. They get the football to Jason Jackson on 2 consecutive runs, and he takes it into the end zone. You can tell by the body language, guys, if you look at Westerville's team right now on the sideline, totally different team than it was 5 plays ago before they executed the fake punt and the 2 runs for the touchdown.
Jackson had 7 carries for 45 yards and that touchdown. Good haircut.
It is. He knows he's on national television. He went and got the mohawk with the designs in it. He's looking very sharp. He's running the ball sharp, and he looks sharp on the sideline.
He's not the only one on that sideline that has a haircut like that. Noticed that before the game, but the helmets were off. And it's not pretty down there on Sunday. I'll tell you that. What a thrill for these guys, especially these 2 teams. They're from nearby Ohio Stadium. They know what it means to play here.
Not only that, but think about when this game was announced, think about playing your buddies, because these guys know each other. They may not be close, but they know each other. They play each other. They grew up playing sports. Think about being able to train all summer knowing that your first game is against one of your arch rivals. And oh, by the way, we get to play in the shoe.
Play Props to kick it off for Westerville South. Caraher, Butler, and Kincaid are back deep for Hilliard Davidson. And it's going to be Jack Kincaid in the end zone. So it'll be a touchback, first down and 10 at the 20. There's Clay Props. Pretty strong leg. He's a senior kicker. And again, that just changes the dynamic when your kicker can put it in the end zone every time. It gives your defense kind of a clean start right away.
You'll never hear anybody tell you this, a defensive coach. One of their best friends is a kicker that can hit the end zone every time. And they'll never admit it in public because all kickers are weird, right? But a defensive coordinator, you put the ball in the end zone, that saves you 1 first down, maybe 2 first down. That's 20 yards of field position.
Let me ask you, did you have the leg strength to do that when you were kicking for the Buckeyes?
I just don't want to get off topic here. Okay? I want to focus on the game here.
Nice cover.
Trubiano under center on 1st down and 10. And he spins, hands off to Spencer DeLandy. We've talked about the DeLandy brothers a lot already here today for Hilliard Davidson on both sides of the ball. Their brother Bo was on that state championship team in 2006, and he is now playing at Ohio State. Again, so many ties to this school, to this stadium, and such an honor. These young men, they've said it throughout the week. I imagine it's been a little nerve-wracking leading up to this big opportunity, especially being on television. Run straight ahead for DeLandy, and he's pretty close to the 1st down. It's going to be about a yard short. Miguel Alicia, the safety, making the stop.
A nice push up front by Hilliard Davidson. We were talking about the run game of Westerville South just a moment ago. Now Hilliard Davidson is responding. You see those last 2 plays. It's just been right up the gut, and they've created a nice surge.
Brian White was telling us this week that there aren't many teams that run this offense. He knows it's not a popular offense among players and fans. He says doesn't care. It gets it done. That's what we're going to run. 45 to go. And it's Rico Butler. He needed maybe a half a yard. We'll see if he got it. It's going to depend on the spot. It sure looks good for Hilliard Davidson. And yes, it's a 1st down.
Interesting to note, Hilliard Davidson coming out in their own territory the last 3 plays in a row. They ran the same base play out of different formations. So what they're trying to do is spread out that Westerville defense, come at them with the same exact play, just doing it out of different formations.
That may have been a slightly favorable spot. That was great penetration by the Westerville South defense. Nonetheless, 1st down though.
Alex Mickley is the lone setback. Trubiano kept it himself. He's going to get 3. Now, this offense, players don't like it because, what, it's not sexy enough?
The players that play in it like the you go talk to a kid at the Air Force Academy, Troy Calhoun's bunch, or you talk to Georgia Tech, or you talk to Navy, they love it. And the reason they love it is because defenses across the country, we only see it once a year. Okay, so going up and running that, and you can talk about guys that Trubiano, just as an observation, reminds me of Connor Dietz, who played at Hilliard Davidson, who's at the Air Force Academy, who's battling for his starting position. Very decisive. The biggest thing about running this offense is you got to have a very athletic quarterback who's quick, but very decisive in his decision making, and I've seen that today from Trubiano early in the game.
But what do you mean from a recruiting standpoint? If you're a skilled player, it's not very flashy. Linemen love it because every down you're buckling up, you're hitting the guy in front of you. Good for running backs, you're getting a lot of touches. If you're a quarterback or a wide receiver, it's hard to get recruited because you don't get very many opportunities to get on tape, either A, throwing the ball or running downfield, catching the ball. So from the perimeter skill guys, they don't get a lot of chances to touch it, so they don't feel like maybe I'll get a chance to get recruited. Or if you're in the NFL, I mean, if you're in college running this offense, you might not get a chance to get drafted because you don't get very many touches. It's really more about the run game.
Said Air Force is running it. Georgia Tech, of course, is running it, and both have had quite a bit of success with it. Is it something that we'll see more of in the college game in years to come?
This offense is built around personnel versus the opposite. In other words, you want to take the reason guys or teams run this offense is because they couldn't be effective in the spread, or they couldn't be effective in the power eye or whatever. So I don't think you're gonna see a proliferation of this offense. but it certainly is a good one to run.
Spencer Delandy gashing Westerville South's defense. He's got it inside the 20 and down at the 10.
And how many times have we talked about this offense? What it does is it breaks your discipline down. Over time, you will see that same play come at you and at you and at you. And right there was just a breakdown in discipline. And Spencer Delandy just breaks off a long run and makes him pay for it. Gives him great field position inside the 10. Setting up an opportunity to go up by 7. That was great execution up front.
57 yards on that run. Hilliard Davidson has run 12 plays. 11 of them have been on the ground. First down, goal to go from the 9. Trubiano keeps it himself, cuts it up, touchdown. What a great decision. He had the opportunity to pitch, kept it, and scores.
Yeah, he hit that corner fast. He made a quick decision. He tucked that ball, and he went. It really didn't look like he really thought too much about pitch now. Absolutely. He saw that crease. He goes, I'm going for 6.
When you're an option quarterback inside the red zone, you are tight. You see a crease, you go. North and south right now. Don't worry about making a read. And Trubiano runs this offense very effectively.
So Hilliard Davidson goes back on top. Last year, Hilliard Davidson, like we said, blew out Westerville South 35-0. But so far, this has been a back-and-forth affair, an excellent game between two inter-conference rivals.
I think this is exactly what we expected. When you get two conference rivals going back and forth, this is an offense from Hilliard Davidson that breaks you down with discipline. They've run this same play 4 times, and finally, Spencer Delandy breaks it, comes back to the right side. They walk him down, but they get great field position inside of the 10, and then Trubiano at the quarterback position sees an opening, hits the crease full speed, sticks it in the end zone, which puts Hilliard up by 7 early here in the ballgame.
6 plays, 80 yards, all running plays. Just over 3 minutes. As Jake Trubiano engineers a scoring drive for the Wildcats. As we take a look at his profile.
Is he also very good in the classroom? You're not shocked when you think about an option quarterback. He's got to make a lot of quick decisions. To see him have a good GPA, it doesn't shock me at all.
That's our ESPN Rise profile. And if you haven't checked out ESPNRise.com, you should. It gives a little more insight to these players' personalities, what they're doing off the field, some of the classroom initiatives, and it's just an excellent website, ESPNRise.com. So 9 seconds to go here in the opening quarter, and it has been entertaining to say the least. The Ohio Capital Conference, one of the best conferences not only in the state but in the country, and these are two of its best. Westerville South and Hilliard Davidson going toe-to-toe here in the shoe. Detmer to kick. Jack Tomlinson again back deep and again goes into the end zone.
We saw, Westerville score. Hilliard Davidson came back with a nice drive and answered. Now we'll see how Westerville South answers that, because Hilliard Davidson, they had it maybe could have gone in the tank a little bit off of that fake punt, and then Westerville South scoring. So now Westerville South once again, just like what Hilliard Davidson did to them by punching them in the mouth, creating a surge up front and running the ball downfield. Westerville South needs to come back, reestablish the line of scrimmage for their offense, and try to create some points here.
Westerville South has gone 6-4 against Hilliard Davidson in the last 10 years. But they've lost the last 3 meetings. Trying to change that today. Down a touchdown now. Final play most likely here of the first quarter. Tevin Favor from the gun. Drops it off underneath. Jay-Sean Jackson gets into space and across the 30-yard line to the 35. A pickup of 15. But there is a penalty marker down. This may be coming back. Did you guys see anything? Officials are talking it over.
Either probably a holding or illegal man downfield on the screenplay there.
I really thought it was a late flag, personal foul, because that flag came in so late. I think it might have been a late hit on Westerville.
They're certainly talking it over for a while.
It appears the officials are in a similar dilemma, a conundrum.
A dead ball foul, personal foul on the offense after the play is dead. Will enforce the penalty. Quarter is over.
That's Ray Ball, the big guy we were talking about earlier in the quarter, the 6'7", 320-pound junior. He came in a little late on this play. And there he comes. And when a guy that size comes in that late, you're going to feel it.
Yeah, it's hard to get all that momentum stopped.
161 yards rushing for these two teams combined. 26 yards passing, so both teams have elected to come out here and grind it out on the ground. 14-7, Hilliard Davidson with the lead. It's been entertaining. A couple of great schools from the Ohio Capital Conference. They're battling here at Ohio State University in the Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series, presented by Burger King. Second quarter coming up. Just a beautiful day at Ohio Stadium, the Horseshoe, as we continue with the Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series presented by Burger King. Hilliard Davidson and Westerville South, a couple of conference foes. To start the second quarter, it's 14-7 Hilliard Davidson. So take a look at first quarter stats. Westerville South turned the ball over on the opening play of the game, and it led to an early score for Hilliard Davidson. It's really the difference in this game. Westerville South in the white uniforms. The first play of the second quarter. It's Jay Sean Jackson, tackled by Pat Doherty, the weak side linebacker, after a gain of 3. Jackson had 60 yards in that first quarter. 45 rushing yards, 15 receiving. Also had a touchdown, but see, both teams have decided the game plan is to run.
Yep, game plan's to run. Now, that's what will happen. That's what will play out through the quarter. But if you'll notice on that last play, number 47 for Hilliard, Sky Strawler, he's starting to jump those zone read plays. And I think you'll see Westerville South start to adjust to that and maybe go to the backs out of the backfield to loosen the defense up a little bit.
2nd and 7. It's Jackson again. He has touched the ball the last 8 plays now for Westerville South. Justin Schick, steady senior inside linebacker, makes the stop. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Thought it was interesting talking to Jay Sean yesterday. He talked about, you know, the number of plays that it takes him to get warm in a game. And, you know, I think we're starting to see him really heat up as a running back here, getting comfortable. A lot of times running backs, especially at the high school level, it takes a while for them to get comfortable in a ball game, and he's clearly there right now.
Favor with the play fake. Jack Tomlinson coming back toward the ball, makes the catch, and he's got enough for the first down. It's a gain of 6 for Tomlinson, who has received several offers, but like you guys talked about at the top of the broadcast, he is verbally committed to Ball State. And right now he is slow to get up, and the training staff is going to come on out to look at Tomlinson.
Yeah, that'd be a bit of a blow to their passing attack. Did a nice job on that pass. He went ahead, looked it in with his eyes, caught it with his hands, bored into his body, and like we talked about at the top, he's really good after the catch. Is what makes him kind of special as a receiver. Not a guy necessarily who's going to run downfield vertically and run by people, but he can make a play.
He may have got hit by his own man, and it might be number 71, Ray Ball again. It's Ball that hit him there at the end of that play.
Well, Jack's 5'9", 165, and Big Ray's, what, 6'7", 320? So you get hit by him, and then he lands on you, liable to, you know, to give you a nick.
So Tomlinson is coming off, clenching his teeth in pain. We hope that he's okay. Keep an eye on him. Bring up 1st down and 10 for Westerville South, who has already been banged up. Of course, Jonathan Jennings, the starting quarterback, not playing today because of a broken collarbone. That's going to keep him out 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why we're seeing a lot of Jackson. Coach Rocky Pentelli even said, with Jennings out, we're going to lean a lot more on Ja'Shawn Jackson to go ahead and carry this offense. And as we've seen through the first quarter plus, that's what they've been doing.
First down and 10. It's Jackson again. To the 35-yard line, spun down by Pat Doherty, who has played very well to start here today. Doherty started 6 games last year before breaking his leg, so he didn't play at all in the second half. And speaking of injuries, they continue to look at Jack Tomlinson, who Westerville South could ill afford to lose. Second down and 7 coming up. And injuries this time of the year and in the preseason camp can affect you for the rest of the season. Favor. Hands off to Jackson again. Jackson now 12 touches on 18 total plays for Westerville South. He is the go-to guy.
Looks like he's pointing a little bit to the hip right there. You know, maybe the way he landed.
I think he might have taken a shot by Ray Ball right there on the hip pointer. For those of you familiar or not familiar with a hip pointer, they hurt. That bone right there on your hip, you get, that's one of the injuries you just talked about that hang around forever.
How would
as a
you
football
know?
player.
How would you know? You
well,
can't.
No, but come on.
Not word of mouth.
Third down and 6. Good pass, good catch. Into Hilliard Davidson territory at the 47-yard line. It's Evan Lease, who is also the backup quarterback, on that reception. We might see Evan in this game at quarterback too, like you said, John, as Tevin Favor is probably going to share that duty today.
Yep, he'll share it. Rocky Vitello, the head coach for Westerville, told us that Evan Lease is one of those guys, he just plays loose, because and we said, well, why does he play loose? He doesn't feel the pressure. He said, no, I think the kid doesn't think he has anything to lose. So he doesn't feel like, you know, that he has to press. And Tevin Favor delivers a nice ball despite being under pressure, and you can see the good grab by Evan Lease picking up the first down.
Favor takes it himself. Inside the 40, Kenny Klatt has been the team's best defensive player the last couple of years. He has already forced a fumble in this game. He made the tackle to bring up 2nd and 3.
Nice job there by Tevin Favor. It looked like it was going to be an option play. He had the option to pitch it, but he saw there was a defender between him and the ball carrier. He went ahead, tucked it, and picked up some positive yardage.
So 2nd down and 3 for Westerville South. Favor again. Thought about the pitch, keeps it, and is going to be stopped short of the first down by Klatt and Alex Schmidt. It's a gain of 1.
The difference between that play and the last was the hesitation by Tevin Favor. The play before, he saw the pressure, he tucked, he went. That time, like you mentioned, he kind of hesitated for a second. That allows the defense to rally, not the same kind of production.
Favor would be a starter just about anywhere else the last couple of years, according to Rocky Pintello. But Jonathan Jennings has beat him out in camp. And Favor getting his opportunity this season, or at least today, to start the year. 10th play of the drive. And it's Kevin Threet, number 21, into the game for the first time. And he is going to be short. Kevin Threet's dad is the running back coach, Kevin Sr. And it looks like he is stopped short. It's going to bring up 4th down and 1. So what do they do here?
I think they go for it. I think I was watching Clay Props kick earlier in the warm-up, and he's got a pretty decent leg. I saw him hitting pretty easy from the 48-yard mark. They're certainly not going to punt. I think they line up, go to a heavy set, try to pick up the first down.
Favor, hands off. Jackson, and he's got it. They go to their old standby, Jason Jackson. And he gets it.
It's going over the left side over Ray Ball, and right there, just the second effort. I thought for sure he was going to get stopped right there at the line of scrimmage. They're going to bring the chains out and take a look at it, but there was good penetration up front. Jason Jackson just with that second effort extends his body in the football. We'll see if he just got it out there far enough to pick up the first down.
No, he didn't. Boy, from up here, it sure looked like it. So Hilliard Davidson will take over on downs as the defense stands. They go back on offense, leading by 7 when we come back. The Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series is presented by Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And in part by the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines. (14-7) Hilliard Davidson on top of Westerville South. A couple of Ohio powers here in the central part of the state. Part of the Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series presented by Burger King. Talked about Brian White and how he fancies himself as a defensive-minded head coach. Well, his defense ends an 11-play drive that lasted 6:19 for Westerville South, and now the Wildcats go back on offense. Trubiano under center. And hands off to Spencer DeLandy. Nice gain of 9 yards on first down.
Yeah, Westerville South came with some pressure right there. And when you want to roll the dice and blitz some, you leave a crease and you allow yourself to, get a big gain. That's what Hilliard Davidson was able to do and pick up a first down.
Dion Threet Vassar in on that stop. So 2nd down and 1 for Hilliard Davidson. Trubiano fakes the handoff, takes it himself, and he's got enough for the first down. Derek Jones made the stop, but it's a pickup of 3. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 50. We're at the Horseshoe, Ohio Stadium, here on the campus of Ohio State. The Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series. This is one of 22 high school football games on the ESPN family of networks this season. Alongside John Berger and Craig Hobbard, I'm Clay Matvick. We have already seen the #1 team in the country today. St. Thomas Aquinas defeated Upper Arlington handily in our first game. Now these two conference foes. The pitch. Trubiano to DeLandy. He's inside the 40 and down at the 36-yard line. Dion Threet Vassar with the stop.
Well, it got started early. There was a special teams play that got Hilliard Davidson started early. Westerville comes right back with Jason Jackson, works the ball down the field on 2 consecutive running plays. And then Jake Trubiano, you can see him there, his decisiveness on the option play. And that's where we're at right now, 14-7. 2 good teams going back and forth here with 4:37 left in the second.
Good day already for DeLandy. 1st and 10. Trubiano making something out of nothing. It looked like the door was ready to slam shut on him. Jamar Williams was right there, but Trubiano able to pick up 5 on that play.
It looks like it might have been a busted play there.
There was 2 busted plays on this drive between Rico Butler and Trubiano, which is very atypical when you have a senior quarterback and a junior running back. So I'm wondering if they haven't put in a different package for this Westerville defense. Maybe they're just getting their terminology wrapped around right this second.
Trubiano used to be a running back. Played a lot there as a sophomore. See, handle himself with the football on the ground. On On 2nd and 5, the whistle is going to come and blow this play dead. 129 rushing yards for Hilliard Davidson already today. Only 9 passing. Tells you all you need to know about their game plan.
Coach White told us that. He goes, we don't throw much. And if we're throwing a lot, it means we're in trouble.
Yeah. To the snap. False start on the offense. 5 yard. Down remains the same.
Are you ready for the college football season? I know I sure am. Monday and Tuesday afternoon, catch the Coaches Spotlight Special. You get access to the coaches' press conferences from across the country. Coaches Spotlight Special presented by Dick's Sporting Goods on ESPNU and ESPNU HD Monday and Tuesday, coming up at 2 Eastern. It's going to be an interesting college football season. Some of the same teams that were expected to win the national championship last year favored again this year, and same with the Heisman race. 2nd and 11. The handoff goes to Spencer DeLandy again. And it's another good pickup. He's going to be stopped short of the first down. It's a gain of 8. Mike Brown, the cornerback, stepped up to make the tackle.
When 14 for Hilliard gets the ball, there's not a great deal of imagination. This kid's getting north and south very quickly. I love his leg drive when he first makes contact, and he just kind of drills the defender backwards, and you've seen him pick up on 2 or 3 separate occasions. You've seen him get those extra 3 or 4 yards. Great leg drive by DeLandy.
3rd down and 2 for Hilliard Davidson. It's going to be close to a first down. Alex Mickley, a sophomore fullback who gets a lot of time behind DeLandy, is able to pick it up, and they'll move the sticks.
I found interesting, John, is you think of an option attack, think about attacking the perimeter, optioning that outside linebacker, optioning that defensive end. Right now, they're just between the tackles, between the hashes. They're just kind of going blue collar, not a lot of attack on the perimeter.
Hilliard Davidson's got 15 straight running plays, and you can tell by the way that they're dominating the line of scrimmage right now in the last 2 drives. They feel very good about going to the base veer.
On first down, they keep it on the ground. And it's Spencer DeLandy again going over the right side this time. And they're getting in manageable down situations. 2nd down and 3 or 4 almost every time.
Yeah, anytime you're in an option offense, whether it's the version they run at the academy or Hilliard Davidson or any of the other schools, if you see an option offense in 2nd and 6 and 3rd and 2, you're having success. And we've seen that throughout the first half for Hilliard Davidson.
DeLandy now 100 yards rushing on 8 carries. 2nd down and 4. First man through is Rico Butler. And he's going to get 1 on that play before Taven Howell, the strong side linebacker, number 9, wraps him up. Sam Wakefield, the injured starter at the strong side linebacker, is out with a broken arm, so Taven Howell is stepping in. So far doing a nice job for Westerville South. 3rd down and 3 as we're under a minute to play here in the 2nd quarter. And penalty flags come in.
It's going to be interesting. Both these teams have burned timeouts early in the first half. Now with us under a minute, Hilliard Davidson inside the 20. We see if those missing timeouts.
False start on the offense. Down remains the same.
I was say with those missing timeouts come back to haunt them here in their ability to control the clock and try to put points on the board before the half.
It's the 4th penalty against Hilliard Davidson. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 9. So what's the call here from Brian White?
Well, 3rd and 9 in the option offense is a whole lot different than a 3rd and 3 inside the red zone because the window is so much tighter. I wouldn't be surprised to see him just try to set up for a short gainer and try to kick the field goal.
It looks like that's what they do. Alex Mickley moves it back closer to the center of the field. That's a 3-yard pickup. They'll bring up 4th down, and we'll see if White will bring out the field goal unit or if they'll go for it. 4th and 6. We talked to both coaches as Davidson takes the final timeout. We talked to both coaches this week, and they said we are going to have a great matchup. Nothing like last year's blowout. So far, it has been that way. The final 20 seconds of the half coming up when we come back. 14-7, Hilliard Davidson on top. Westerville South and Hilliard Davidson locked up in a Big Ten-like game. I mean, this is smash-mouth football, guys. They're keeping it between the tackles, and what an impressive drive being mounted right now by Hilliard Davidson. 9 plays, 41 yards, and look at the time off the clock.
I mean, this is option football at its best right here.
And when the quarters are only 12 minutes long, that's even more impressive.
Yep, Hilliard Davidson, I like the drive because they put it in a manageable down and distance, and even when they got the penalty, it sets up a very makeable field goal attempt, which has allowed them to go into the locker room possibly at 17-7, feeling good about where you're sitting at that point in the ball game.
J.D. Detmer is on from 37 yards out. And it's good. No, it just missed. It just missed for J.D. Detmer. Plenty of leg, just wide.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see if it would have made it on a high school goalpost, which is a little bit wider because it seemed like it was a pretty close kick, but a nice drive, nice time off the clock. Come away with no points though, so Westerville South comes out on top on that.
Detmer, who is a soccer player, the coaches say he has pretty good leg from as much as 47 yards out. They'd be comfortable putting him out there, and that was a 37-yard attempt, but comes up empty.
Certainly had the leg, just a little off target.
18 seconds to go here in the half, and Hilliard Davidson with a chance to take their lead to 10. Westerville South will have the last play. So Tevin Favor comes out with the offense. Play it safe, give it to Jason Jackson, who'll get 1. And that's probably going to do it for the half. Your impressions, guys?
It's exactly what I expected in terms of both teams going back and forth, battling. Big turnover early on the special teams, but I really like the drive and the offense that Jake Turbiano's run on the offensive side. I've really been impressed also with Westerville's offense, given the fact that they don't have John Jennings at the quarterback position.
Yeah, for me, it's been special teams in this first half. Hilliard Davidson scoring off of that fumble on the opening kickoff. Westerville South getting on the board on a drive coming off of a fake punt. And then Hilliard Davidson leaving some points on the field with a missed field goal here at the half.
283 combined yards of offense. 234 have been on the ground. Not much of an aerial attack today between Westerville South and Hilliard Davidson, but it's an entertaining game none the least. 14-7 at the half. Hilliard Davidson leads. Back at Ohio Stadium. The Horseshoe here on the campus of Ohio State for the Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series, presented by Burger King alongside John Berger and Craig Howard. I'm Clay Matvick. It's 14-7 Hilliard Davidson over their conference rivals, Westerville South. And John, a pretty simple game plan for both teams. Run the football. Hilliard Davidson doing it a little bit better, though, than Westerville South in that first 24 minutes.
Down for Hilliard Davidson. It jars the football loose. Hilliard Davidson gets it back, and then Jake Turbiano buys himself some time so his wide receiver Spencer DeLande can get to the second level on the backside. They stick it in the end zone, and Westerville comes right back behind the running game of that zone read play, right behind Tevin Favor, number 22, Jason Jackson. They get it going on 3 consecutive running plays, and Jackson weaves his way through the defense. Touchdown for Westerville. Close ball game. What I really enjoyed was watching the option offense by Turbiano. He executes that offense very well placed, very decisive in his decision making.
And the one pass he did throw was that touchdown pass. Otherwise, very dominating offensive effort on the ground for Hilliard Davidson. As you see the rushing yards, 151, 21 of 22 plays on the ground. But Westerville South is certainly in this game playing well, much better than they did last year. They were blown out in this game, 35-0 by their rivals, and certainly didn't want to perform that way in this stadium today in front of their fans. Like we said, both coaches didn't expect a repeat of last year, and we're not seeing that at all.
No, not at all. I'm surprised by how effective Westerville is on the offensive side of the ball, because anytime you lose an athlete the caliber at quarterback position with John Jennings, normally you sputter early as an offense, but I thought Tevin Favor did a nice job of running the offense. The offensive line obviously got a lot of confidence on that third drive behind Jay Bell, number 71. And the running back, Jason Jackson, got on track there. They look good offensively here.
Hilliard Davidson will start out on offense. It will be a touchback, first down and 10 from the 20 for the Hilliard Davidson Wildcats. They're in the blue uniforms. They ended the first half with 18 straight running plays. So number 6, Jake Trubiano, will come on out with that offense again, and I guess we shouldn't expect anything different.
Nope, when it's working, just keep going at it. And what you'll notice them coming out of their own end of the field there is Trubiano. They go to the heavy set and they go to more of a pure veer when they're in negative territory here, which they are. And then once they get out to about midfield, they open it up a little bit, which allows eventually, I think Trubiano, you'll see him pull up and go downfield in the passing game to Jimmy Curtis or possibly Carrer. But they need to just work it out of their own end of the field right this second.
On first down, Trubiano keeps it himself. He had a touchdown run and a touchdown pass in the first half. He'll pick up 5 there before the middle linebacker, Jamar Williams, who has Division I potential, brings him down. Yeah, Trubiano, I really like the way that he's managing the game for this Hilliard Davidson team. He's
just very decisive, and like I said earlier in the ball game, as an option quarterback, that's the biggest thing. You don't have to have a 4-4 guy running this offense to be successful at it.
Yeah, I mean, Coach is really high on his intelligence and his ability to run the offense. Like you said, John, it's so much about knowing when to give the ball, when to hold it, and he's been very good at that.
As usual, Westerville South blitzing on that play, but because of all the running that we've seen from Hilliard Davidson and the effective blocking up front, it really hasn't disrupted much.
Well, when you blitz, sometimes you're gonna get back there, you're gonna stuff them, you're gonna get a play for a loss. But also, you kind of live by the sword, you die by the sword, and we've seen Hilliard Davidson rip off a few big runs up the middle because somebody's come flying by and there's been a crease.
So third down and 4 for Hilliard Davidson. Trubiano keeps it himself, has tons of room on the left side. And out close to the 40 to the 39, a 13-yard gain for the senior quarterback.
Hilliard Davidson on 3rd and 6. Watch Westerville stack the box. They have 9 guys up in the box within 6 yards of the lines of scrimmage, and Jake Trubiano recognizes that, pulls the ball out, gets to the second level. Look at 9 guys right there. Trubiano recognizes that early in the play structure and just gets upfield for the first down. That was a well-executed play, and you're going to tack on because Westerville got a 15-yard penalty here.
So it'll be first down at the 46-yard line of Westerville South as Hilliard Davidson gets a break. And there's Rocky Pintello, the head coach for the Westerville South Wildcats. He told us this week that his defensive coordinator, Rick Vaughn, is crazy. Of the 60 plays in the game, they'll probably blitz 63 times. First and 10. Rico Butler, he's got a first down and then some. A gain of about 14 yards on that play. Derek Jones, the weak side linebacker, finally tracked him down.
Davidson up front on the left side. That's where they're having the most success in their running game, is over their left side. And number 75, Phil Huff, Mintorn, and Kyle Annis are having great days up front, getting movement on the Westerville defensive line.
10:30 to go, third quarter. Hilliard Davidson up by 7, looking for more. Handoff inside, it's Butler again. He's stacked up and pushed back. Makes his way inside the 30, a pickup of 5. Jamar Williams again there on the stop. And that is the 6th carry now for Butler on the day. He's got 34 yards. We saw a little bit of Delandy in the first half. We've seen some Butler. They've mixed in a couple other guys, but Trubiano is the glue of this offense.
Absolutely. The quarterback position, that's the guy, that's the trigger man, and he's the heart of that offense because everything revolves around him. When you're playing option football, you're basically trying to play 11-on-10 ball game, and it's all dependent on your quarterback's decision making.
On 2nd and 5, it's Alex Mickley. Actually, it was Trubiano keeping it himself. Hard to tell on that handoff, but he did keep it. He's going to be stopped short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2, but they have run the ball 24 straight plays now. And Hilliard Davidson continues to have long drives and effective drives.
Drives without big plays, but very productive.
Butler takes it over the left side. And he's going to be down at the 21-yard line, but he's got enough for the first down. A gain of 3 for Butler. And he is also drawing some Division I interest. He had 600 rushing yards last year before that ankle injury.
He's a 2011 prospect, so just into his junior year now. So I think he's definitely a guy that was going to pop on the radar here as the season wears along. If he could stay healthy this year, definitely somebody, once his senior year comes up, will have a couple of offers in his pocket.
With 4.4 speed, even if he is a little undersized, people are going to take a look at you. 1st and 10. Back to Butler. And this time, nowhere to go on that left side. Taven Howell will knock him down after a gain of 1. Again, Howell getting the start because of some injuries. He's done a nice job. We've called his name a lot. So at the 20, 2nd down and 9.
That time, Davidson, it was a slower developing play than the straight veer or the straight triple option. In Westerville, I think they smelled that. They're athletic enough to fill that. I think Davidson's having more success going right at them and optioning off the tackle or the defensive end.
9th play of the drive. Trubiano keeps it again. Nice run inside the 10 and down at the 7-yard line. Derek Jones finally got to him. It's a gain of 7, 1st down and goal for Hilliard Davidson.
We talked about their offense staying on schedule play. What did we talk about early in the ball game? If you see this offense in 2nd and 6 and 3rd and 2, the last 2 drives, the drives where they've chewed up all of this clock. Look at the clock now. We're down to 7:37 in the 3rd quarter, and Westerville hasn't touched the ball.
Yeah, 4.5 minutes off the clock. This is the 10th play of the drive. Trubiano, the inside handoff. And it's Spencer Delandy, his first touch in some time. Jamar Williams the tackle, but again, a good run. A pickup of 5, 2nd down and goal from the 1.
Rico Butler's been the featured back, but I've been really impressed with Spencer Delandy today. I think you alluded to it earlier, John. He is very physical when he runs between the tackles. It is all north and south, and he is not going down on first contact. He dragged quite a few tacklers with him right up to the goal line.
Under 7 minutes to go in the quarter. It's been all Hilliard Davidson here in the 3rd. 3 men in the backfield, lined up behind Trubiano. The give is to Butler, and he is stacked up at the goal line. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Rico Butler. His first of the day.
Touchdown by Rico Butler, and blocks of Phil Huff and Anthony Minturn.
It was a very workmanlike drive they put together. Ate up a lot of clock, gained yards, picked up 1st down.
Ate up clock, put points on the board, but more importantly, it demoralizes you as a defense when a team can go 11 or 12 or 13 play drives and ram the football basically down your throat and put points on the board.
That's twice now, going into the half and then coming out of the half. And one of the most frustrating things as a defensive coordinator is not being able to stop the run, because where do you go from there? Because if you can't stop the run, the other team's going to keep running the ball, and it is a deflating feeling.
J.D. Detmer is on. And he makes it 21-7. All of the stars in the Hilliard-Davidson backfield have starred today. Delaney with a touchdown, Trubiano a touchdown, and now Rico Butler. He caps an 11-play, 80-yard drive. (21-7). Hilliard-Davidson has tacked on another touchdown. Rico Butler from a yard out. It's been 29 straight running plays for Hilliard-Davidson, and that last drive was impressive. Kept it on the ground. Took 5:21 off the clock. We're at the Horseshoe, and Terrell Pryor has kind of made this building his own. He was the #1 ranked quarterback in the ESPN U150 in 2008. 9-1 as a starter for Ohio State, and it's going to be interesting to see what the Buckeyes do with Terrell Pryor at quarterback this year. Of course, the big game is going to be that game in week 2 when USC comes to town. It should be fun right here.
Oh, yeah, after last year's game where they really got dismantled out there in L.A. to get the Trojans on their home turf. But with Chris Wells gone to the NFL, Brian Robisky, Brian Hartline gone from that Ohio State offense, a lot more is going to fall on Terrell Pryor. And he has the athletic ability to do it. The interesting thing is going to see how has he developed as a passer. Old Hilliard-Davidson, they're loving this little fake. They've been working it all day, trying to keep that Westerville South team close to the 50. And this way it makes it a lot tougher for them to get back and set up their blocks. It allows their coverage. It helps Hilliard-Davidson's coverage.
Jack Tomlinson is back, so is Ryan Barber for Westerville South. Detmer's kick is a good one. And this one's going to get to the end zone. First down and 10 at the 20 for Westerville South. Bill Conley from ESPN Scouting lives here in Ohio and knows this state very well. Used to work for the Buckeyes, and he joins us now on the sideline. And the state of Ohio being showcased in this game between a couple of conference rivals. And what have you been impressed with so far, Bill?
Well, first of all, I think the running backs on both teams. And I tell you what, the Hilliard-Davidson, they have a whole stable of them back there. And Rico Butler's been running great. And, of course, Delande, I mean, it's unbelievable. Just the great, it's like a machine. This team won the state championship in 2006, so they know what it's like to play in big games. First down and 10 here for Westerville South as they're down now by a couple of scores. I'm in favor. Hands off to Ja'Shawn Jackson. He had 14 touches in the first half, the rest of the team 8. Bill, it looks like both teams have pretty simple game plans. Westerville South hasn't been able to execute quite as well as Hilliard-Davidson, and that's really the difference. It really is. You know, they have some injuries, but some of the kids have stepped in and done a great job. Jackson, for example, has run the ball very good. Hey, and how about Rocky running the fake punt? Unbelievable. They had trouble with special teams. People have been hurt. So really, they're doing a good job for the people they've had hurt. Second down and 9. Penalty flag comes in. Jackson again on the carry. As we're under 6 minutes to go now here in quarter number 3. Malt Brown is our referee. And it's a holding call on Westerville South.
Holding on the offense. Penalty is declined.
Bill, talk a little bit about the recruits in the state of Ohio this year. How would you rate them compared to the state of Florida or other players around the country?
Well, to be honest with you, there's not as many. Population's part of it. But at the same time, you've really got a situation in Ohio. There's not even that many players in our top 150 this year, but our number 2 guy in the top 150 is Jordan Hicks from down in Westchester, Lakota. So Ohio's always going to have very good football players. There's just not as many of them as in Florida, California, and Texas because of population.
Tevin Favor with the play fake. He has a receiver. It's caught at the 30. And down to the 36-yard line is Jack Tomlinson. And Westerville South will move the chains. One state that I've kind of been curious about, Bill, is the state of Pennsylvania. It always was a bastion for high school football talent, and it wasn't really noticeable on your ESPN U150 this year.
Yeah, the same as with Ohio, and really the Midwest in general is down a little bit. You're going to have some good players, but not as many as in the past. And what you find in the Midwest normally is a lot of linemen and also linebackers. And if you really look, for example, in the state of Ohio, your top 10 players, most are linemen and linebackers. But Pennsylvania, of course, they had a great guy by the name of Pryor come out a year ago. So Pennsylvania will be back, as will Ohio.
Almost intercepted in the secondary. Cody Topp, the free safety, almost picked that one off.
Coach, there's some good lineage coming from these schools. Westerville South had Andy Katzenmoyer, who you're familiar with, went to Ohio State, and Kajana Carter. Talk about recruiting Andy and why you guys didn't get Kajana.
Well, you know what? You get some, you lose some. But I think Kajana saw a chance of going to a place where he might play earlier at the running back position. Andy Katzenmoyer, on the other hand, right here at Westerville South, I think he's one of those guys who grew up really in the backyard of Ohio State football. He came in as a freshman, true freshman, played outstanding, big, fast linebacker. So you can't get them all, but really, Ohio State gets about 80 to 90% of who they want in the state of Ohio.
Here's a look at Kajana Carter, class of 1991. Well, you don't see AstroTurf like that anymore. That's gone the way of the buggy whip. And now here's Andy Katzenmoyer, class of 96, who's got a personal training business now, we understand. Boy, he was a good one here at Ohio State.
Both of those guys who had NFL careers really just kind of cut short by injuries, but were great high school players and great college players.
Penalty flag on that last play. Again, that ESPN U150 is scrolling across the top of your screen. That's what we've been talking about. Top 150 players in the country.
Ineligible lineman downfield. Penalty is declined. It will be third down.
Coach, you hear a lot of people around the country talking about the speed factor, the difference between players in the South and players in the Midwest. How real is that as a recruiting coordinator?
I think that's a legitimate argument. I think when we recruited a young man out of Boca Raton, Florida, named Greg Balasari, he's a guy that learned to get faster because in high school he had to get fast to compete. The more you practice against speed, the faster it makes you. And even if you don't pick up that much in pure speed, you know the right angles to take, and you make up for it in quickness.
Sky Strawler, Hilliard Davidson's top pass rusher, gets in for a sack and a loss of 3 as Tevin Favor looking downfield a lot during this series, but having very little success.
And now Westerville South in a tough position because they have to go to an area of their game that's not very strong, their punting game.
Austin Parks is back to punt. And this time he will kick it. Oh, what a hit at the 37-yard line. Derek Jones with an excellent special teams tackle. Hey, Coach, we're going to continue to talk with you down on the field when we come back. Bill Connolly from ESPN Scout Sync will join us for more discussion about the high school ranks. Don't go away. Hilliard Davidson had the lead at the half. They have tacked on another touchdown here in the third quarter with 4 minutes to go. It is 21-7. Hilliard Davidson. Alongside John Berger, former Ohio State Buckeye, and Craig Hobbard from ESPN Scout Sync on play. Matt down on the field is Bill Connolly, former Ohio State assistant coach and current member of ESPN Scout Sync. He, along with Craig and a couple of other guys, you guys are the think tank behind that ESPN U150. I've got to tip my hat to you. That's not an easy job, but you guys have done a great job with it. On first down, Hilliard Davidson keeps it on the ground.
Hey, Coach, we're here in Columbus at Ohio Stadium. One of the big topics here, naturally, Ohio State football and Terrell Pryor. But give us a recruiting coordinator's perspective, because Terrell, with his size, he reportedly ran a sub 4.40 this spring. He could possibly be an NFL first-round pick as a safety, a defensive end, a wide receiver. What makes you put a player like that at quarterback where he may need to develop more than at those other positions?
Well, first of all, you know one thing for sure, offensively, he's going to touch the ball every play, and he's your best athlete. And yeah, Jim Tressel told me he ran a 4.33, fastest guy on the football team, but he does look like a defensive end. Let's face it, you have to win football games. Who do you want carrying the football or throwing the football? Your best athlete. That's where Terrell Pryor fits in.
What do you think is going to happen in that game in week 2, you guys?
You know what? Terrell was in that position last year as a true freshman quarterback, coming in the second half of that game, really taking over from that game. But it's going to be tough for Matt Barkley to come into a place like this and play.
Trubiano kept it himself. Derek Jones shot in from his weak side linebacking position and made the stop. So Trubiano has had a lot of success. He's dropped for a loss. He's had 13 carries for 61 yards.
Coach, talk a little bit about the strategy of recruiting a player in terms of when you bring him on campus. Do you know for a fact when you're recruiting a kid when he plans on making his decision and when you should bring him on campus for a visit?
You should if you're a good recruiter. So the things a good recruiter has to do, first of all, find out who the key decision maker is for the young man. So mom, dad, high school coach, and then you work on them as far as you do the recruit. And second of all, you have to find out by asking questions how soon that young man's thinking about making his decision. If he's going to make his decision down the road, you bring him in later for the visit. If he's going to make it sooner, then you bring him even earlier. And if it's a guy from the South, you might even bring him in while the weather's still good in Ohio.
Second down and 10. And Rico Butler taking ahead to midfield, a gain of 3. Bill Connolly from ESPN Scouts Inc. Thanks so much for your insight, and we're going to continue to talk to you throughout the weekend.
Great, thanks.
Bill Connolly down on the sidelines for us. Man, he does a lot of hard work for you guys at ESPN Scouts Inc.
Yeah, and he brings a lot of great experience too, having been a recruiting coordinator at Ohio State and coached here for 17 years. He brings a lot to the table. We definitely lean on his experience at times.
Hilliard Davidson continues to control the football. On 3rd and 7, it's Alex Mickley. And Westerville South is able to wrap him up. No gain. And a punting situation here for Hilliard Davidson. Well, Monday and Tuesday afternoon, catch the Coaches Spotlight Special, where you're going to get access to coaches' press conferences from across the country. It's that time of year, the college season ready to kick off. Coaches Spotlight Special presented by Dick's Sporting Goods on ESPNU and ESPNU HD Monday and Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. Here's a look at the AP Top 25 preseason poll. Florida, Texas, Oklahoma. Looks a lot like the end of last season. And it's going to be a great year in 2009.
I'm pretty sure you could overlay the recruiting class list, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it would line up exactly the same.
This punt from Detmer goes out of bounds at the 20-yard line. That's where Westerville South will go to work when we come back. 30-yard kick. (21-7). Hilliard Davidson leading in the last minute here of the 3rd quarter. Let's go back and look at that top 25. Florida is the preseason #1 team, but make an argument that Texas, Oklahoma, USC could be the national champions when it's all said and done. Ohio State might even have something to say about it. Certainly that game with USC here in week 2 will have something to say about how that's going to turn out. Let's take a look at the top 5 classes. As you made this point before the break, John, you could take the top 25 and then take the recruiting classes, the top 10 of those, and superimpose them, and I think you're about right.
About close. Yeah, it's not exactly. It's not identical, but you get the drift, right?
Hey, the top teams, they reload. That's why they stay on top.
Tevin Favor. Play fake. Has a man wide open. It's Ryan Barber. Deep into Hilliard Davidson territory. A gain of 40.
The track guy got open, got down. That was a big play. You know, time's really starting to tick away in this game. They're down by 2 touchdowns. That last stop by Westerville South was huge because it got the ball back. Had they allowed Hilliard Davidson to put points on the board, they might not have been able to creep back in. They gave Favor a chance to drop back. Sees a wide open man, makes a nice throw, got his feet set. Now momentum's starting to shift a little bit, and they could possibly claw back in this game.
Favor trying to keep the momentum with Westerville South. He is flushed out of the pocket and takes no chances, steps out of bounds, short of the line of scrimmage. Ushered out by Pat Doherty, a loss of 2.
Good to see by Favor, not forcing anything. You know, he just created a big play. A lot of times you get young, the backup quarterback, you want to try to make another big play. He got pressure, wasn't able to get rid of the ball, got what he could, and you know, didn't create a mistake, which is key.
Rocky Pintella was concerned about how Tevin Favor would play today. I think his mind has been put at ease a little bit, John?
Absolutely. I think he's made good decisions, and on top of that, he appears to have command of the huddle and command of the offense, which is just as important for a quarterback, is to have that leadership role.
On 2nd and 12, it's going to be a first down as Favor hits Tomlinson, and you can see as the game wears on, his confidence continues to grow.
Not only that, another observation from me, just sitting up here, a lot of times younger quarterbacks will try to aim the football in there. He doesn't appear timid at all to me. When he rolls out, he recognizes there's a window. He gets rid of the football, and he's throwing ropes right now out of the quarterback position.
You can definitely see a level of confidence building him from the time this game started, where he overthrew some balls, to now on a key drive where he's making some big throws.
Spencer DeLandy is the man down for Hilliard Davidson. He has a touchdown run today, and he has also played an important part in the secondary for the Wildcats.
He normally plays on offense for Hilliard Davidson, and just on offense. They moved him over this year to defense, and and this is where he gets the injury, but he's that good of a player for them. He said without the experience of having even played on defense before, just moving over there, he became one of their best defensive backs.
Appears to be all right as he walks off on his own power. First down and 10 now for Westerville South as they're inside the 30-yard line, and we'll see if they can get one more play off before the end of the third. They will not. That's going to do it as the quarter comes to an end. But Westerville South is marching the football down a couple of touchdowns. It's certainly been a physical game, guys. A couple of conference rivals from the Ohio Capital Conference going at it. It's been brutal at times. 2-touchdown lead for Hilliard Davidson here at the Shoe. Back on the campus of Ohio State for the Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series. These two Central Ohio powers going head-to-head. 21-7 Hilliard Davidson over Westerville South as we get ready to start the fourth. All right, let's take a look at today's impact players brought to you by the United States Marine Corps.
At the top of the show, we talked about Jake Trubiano and how he was so well-versed at running this offense. And as watching this game today, you could see he's done a really nice job. And Rico Butler, for a little guy, whenever he touches the ball, he runs physical, has made some nice cuts. And for Westerville South, the two wide receivers have been hindered a little bit by not having their normal quarterback in, but Barber's made a play, and so has Thompson. So when they've gotten a chance, they've been active and helped move this offense.
Jackson on the carry. He's going to pick up 4, so bring up 2nd down and 6 for Westerville South as we take a look at the numbers through 3 quarters. Rushing numbers for Hilliard Davidson really stand out.
Hilliard Davidson having their way up front. This is a critical drive right now for Westerville as you're down by 14. You got to put points on the board on this drive, and they've methodically worked their way down the field. And this is a critical down and distance here at 2nd and 6.
Jackson straight ahead. Justin Schick meets him at the 22-yard line.
Reason I say that, Clay, is you may be looking at the clock saying, what are you talking about? It's 11 minutes left. Well, Hilliard Davidson, if they want to, if they can force them to a field goal, these guys are capable of going on an 8-minute drive if they want to. They got to put a touchdown on the board right now on this drive, Westerville does.
They cannot come away. They cannot come away with no points on this drive.
Faber brings him up to the line. 3rd down and 3. Under 11 minutes to play. Westerville South down 2 touchdowns. And Jackson hurdles one of his own men, gets to the 20, and then he is stacked up by Kenny Klatt. He's going to be close to the 1st down, but we'll see. It depends on the spot whether he got it or not.
2 yards on the play.
Jackson is athletic.
He had a man his way, got up there, hurled right over him. Keep moving for positive yardage.
Go, Davidson!
And they're going to measure. They got it. By the nose of the football.
It was a close one, but hey, you got it. It's all that matters.
It was a fat pig that made that football. And Westerville South is grateful.
Yes. Just barely make it. Tevin Favor, he's reading the backside in, and Jason Jackson recognizes the penetration up front. He knows he only needs about 1 yard and just leans into the defensive back. That was great second effort, and he picked that up by about 1.5 inches worth of that football. That was a huge conversion by Westerville, which keeps their drive alive.
And a big drive it is. Clock continues to move. Out of the gun is Faber on 1st down. Jackson again. Cuts it back up. Escapes. Makes his way inside the 5, down at the 3. A 16-yard gain, and now it's 1st and goal to go for Westerville South.
The second effort by Jason Jackson, right, that was unbelievable because his initial contact occurred right up about the 8-yard line. Kenny Klatt, number 24, is going to come hitting right there. And then look at the leg drive by Jackson. Not allowed Kenny Klatt to bring him down, but then he picks up another 7 yards.
Yeah, very physical run. Westerville South, they're going to lean on him with Jonathan Jennings out to really carry this offense. And he's really coming up big on this drive and showing leadership and a desire to try to help this offense move the ball.
Touchdown, Jason Jackson.
Great vision right there. Starts heading towards the right, sort of crease, cut back, put some points on the board.
Had success all day going over the left side of their offensive line. Mike Bell and Cameron Gessner, Ray Ball. They go back to that inside of the red zone, convert it for a score. They make the extra point here. They'll only be down by 7 with 9:37 left here in the 4th.
Props. Got it. And Westerville South, with an impressive drive, cuts the lead to a touchdown with 9:37 to go. Now we'll see how Hilliard Davidson responds. They've had the lead throughout. Can they hold it? And Lifeline, #1 in identity theft protection. Look at Eddie George's Grill on High Street here in Columbus. Meanwhile, here inside the Horseshoe, it's 21-14 as Westerville South has cut the Hilliard Davidson lead to 7. ESPN Rise speaks to the high school athlete through aspiration, improvement, and recognition. Log on to ESPNRise.com for more information. It'll be interesting to see here how Hilliard Davidson responds after an emotional and successful drive by Westerville South. Rico Butler steps right in front of Jake Trubiano to take this return. And he's got some room on the far sideline. He's to midfield and pulled down at the halfway point. Boy, he was close to breaking that free. Jeremy Hillman finally caught up with him from behind.
It looked like a broken play. It looked like that Rico Butler and Jake Trubiano got their wires crossed, which I think they did, but Rico Butler says, okay, I recognize this. I'm going to find a seam down the right side, which he does, and just takes it up the right sideline. What terrific field position now for Hilliard Davidson. Up by 7 with 9:27. That's a huge play because they're almost already in positive territory.
First and 10. Flags down. Clock stops with 9:22 to play. And this is going to go against Hilliard Davidson.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards remains, first down.
About 11 seconds continued to wind off that clock after the penalty flag came in.
You noticed that too, didn't you?
Yeah, there have been a couple of times where the clock has kept moving, but
I was flying through my high school rules folder here trying to.
That's an advantage for Hilliard Davidson as they continue to have the football. Another penalty flag comes in. This time the clock does stop with 9:08 to go. Jamar Williams in on the stop. We'll have to see what the flag's about.
I think we all can agree Hilliard Davidson doesn't need any help eating up clock.
No, you're right about that. And again, this is going to go against Hilliard Davidson, so they're shooting themselves in the foot on this drive.
Yep, they are. And it's surprising considering the fact that they've played a clean game all the way through 3 quarters here.
Shift
now
up.
you're.
Go ahead. Okay.
Let's look at the last 3 drives for Hilliard Davidson.
Chewed up a lot of clock. You look at their last 3 drives, starting at their own 38-20 and their own 36 respectively. They want those long sustained drives, 8, 10, 11 plays, chewing up a lot of clock. And you can see that they missed that 1 field goal, but they did punch it in. This is a critical drive for Davidson here with 9:08. They were only up by 7, but they've had 2 consecutive back-to-back penalties. Now they're staring at a 1st and 20, which is not the down and distance for an option offense.
Now, since that touchdown, John, things have really kind of stalled a bit for them.
Ball's loose, and Westerville South has recovered. Dion Threet-Vassar recovers for the Wildcats. They've got the ball back and all the momentum, down 7 with 9:03 to play.
Ball security is something in the option offense that you always worry about. There was an exchange issue between Trubiano and number 14, Spencer DeLande. And Westerville South comes up with the football. That's a huge turnover. Dion Threet-Vassar jumps on the football, but look what great field position here for Westerville. 9:03 left. They're only down by 7. Plenty of time here to mount a drive and tie the football game.
Tevin Favor brings the offense back out. On first down, Favor to throw. It's caught by Tomlinson. And he's knocked out at the 33. The clock stops with 8:56 to play.
Since the end of the 3rd quarter, we've talked about this momentum before. There's been a clear shift in momentum from Hilliard Davidson controlling the ball, controlling the clock, to Westerville South now feeling very comfortable, and Tevin Favor looking very strong as a passer.
Not only that, you look at their last drives here. Westerville South is just getting a push up front. And to your point, Craig, the momentum, and more importantly, look at the body language of both sidelines. Westerville South is clearly has the momentum right now, and they need to capitalize on it right now.
Jackson needs a yard for the first down. He dances nicely on his feet inside the 25 And down at the 20, Cody Top wrestles him down. And Westerville South will have first down and 10 at the 21-yard line.
Again, they go back to the left side, and that's where they've had success running the football, the base zone read. Jackson recognizes that. Look at the patience. Not only does he bounce it once, but he bounces it twice, and he has the vision and the patience to work through that play, let it develop, and moves the stick, setting up the first down. Great field position on the 21-yard line.
Good downfield block by the receiver, and Tevin Favor out in front trying to help his running back get a block.
Jackson now over 100 yards on the day. Kevin Threed is in. Caught by Tomlinson. And he stays in bounds at the 15-yard line. Clock will continue to move.
Favor really has seemed to have found a rhythm with that quick rollout, seeing his man and getting rid of the ball quickly. They've really seemed to have found a comfort level for him as a passer, and they're really relying on it. The other thing, too, John, is Westerville South has got nice balance going. Hilliard Davidson's run. Now they're able, with Jackson at running back and Favor throwing the ball well, to mix things up, keep that Davidson defense on their heels a little bit.
Jackson back out there. 2nd and 4. Ball at the 15. Westerville South moving down 7. Jackson. Nowhere to go this time. He's wrestled down. Sky Strawler leading the charge. The senior 6'3", 212-pounder. Making the stop. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
If you're Westerville right now, you got to speed up the tempo. You got to put points on the board and speed up the tempo, because at 7:15, if they force you into a field goal situation here, you don't know if you're getting the ball back. You got to go into a hurry-up spread right now and get points on the board. There's too much time ticking off the clock.
And you see they didn't even huddle up right there.
Favor, high snap, wants to take it himself. Lunges toward the first down marker. And it looks like he's going to be short as Alex Schmidt got to him. Schmidt, the senior nose guard, number 48. And yes, it is short. It's going to be 4th down and 2.
Interesting decision here. Do you go for it? Because if you don't make it, effectively the game's over, assuming Trubiano doesn't have a center quarterback exchange problem. Or do you take the field goal and hope that your defense, which, oh, by the way, your defense has been playing pretty good, and there's momentum on your side.
Well, here's our answer. Rocky Pintello is going to go for it. Penalty flags you down. And it's going to go against Westerville South. False start. And that is not what Rocky Pintello had hoped for.
Start on the offense. Give me
3rd penalty against Westerville South today. 35 yards against. But of the 3, that's one of the biggest.
Yep, that was a big penalty because it puts you in a totally different situation from a down and distance perspective. Now you're almost forced to throw the football here at 4th and long inside the red zone.
Five receivers. Keeping is Favor. And he is not going to have enough for the first down. Sky Strawler standing him up. And Hilliard Davidson will get it back. Interesting play call for Rocky Pintello in Westerville South. Doesn't work out, and Hilliard Davidson will have a chance to maybe put this one away. Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Football Series presented by Burger King. We're at Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Westerville South, and Hilliard Davidson, 2 of the better programs here in this part of the state, alongside John Berger, a former Ohio State Buckeye, and Craig Hobbert, of our scouting experts from ESPN Scouts Inc. is up here with me. I'm Clay Matvick. Here's a look at the touchdowns from the day. Hilliard Davidson scoring first. It was DeLandy on the reception. Then Westerville South got a touchdown from Ja'Shawn Jackson. Trubiano, a touchdown run. And Rico Butler a touchdown run. Westerville South had a great chance to tie this one up, but that drive stalled out. The penalty took all the momentum away.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was an interesting drive and play selection because, you know, with the penalty, it puts you in 4th and long.
Trubiano. He cut himself as they're going to try to keep it on the ground.
Yeah, Hilliard Davidson at this point is just trying to kill the clock, but you can't get too conservative because Westerville is going to bring 8 guys on the run blitz every time. So unless you're willing to concede that we're going to punt the football from deep in our own territory, you've got to get on the offense here and continue to be successful and run what's been successful for you, which is going over to the left side in the veer.
Yeah, like I said, you can't get too conservative, John. It's still 5.5 minutes left. You're deep in your territory. Westerville South's been playing a lot better on defense since the later part of the 3rd quarter. Now, Hilliard Davidson's only thrown the ball once so far this game. Do you try to trick them up, maybe throw a pass here, knowing that they're going to be coming hard upfield, trying to stop the run?
2nd and 10. Butler bounces it to the outside, to the 20, and out of bounds. Daniel Ward, the defensive end, with the tackle. 3 yards on that pickup. The clock will continue to run as he stopped inbounds. 5 minutes to go.
I think Rocco Pintella, he's went over there and had a word with the official, was wondering why the clock continues to run there. But on a critical 3rd and long, again, in an option offense, that's a difficult down and distance for you to manage. Interesting to see how aggressive Hilliard's going to be here on their play selection.
3rd and 7. Reverse. Butler. Nowhere to go. Jamar Williams. He's had a lot of tackles today. Makes another one there. The rest of the Kirk Herbstreit Varsity Series continuing here from Ohio Stadium tomorrow. Olentangy, Liberty, and Dublin Kaufman in our game at noon. And then Orange Lutheran of California taking on Pickerington Central of Ohio. Orange Lutheran plays in that tough Trinity League down there in Southern California. Some great players have come out of that in recent years. Punting situation. Detmer has time, gets it away. It's going to bounce at the 42, and it takes a Hilliard Davidson roll inside the 30. What a kick from Austin Parks. 53 yards. Excuse me, J.D. Detmer on that kick. Westerville South maybe with their last chance when we come back. Last year, this game was a blowout. Hilliard Davidson routed Westerville South 35-0. This year, a very good game and very evenly matched. Westerville South has had 44 plays on offense, 243 yards. Hilliard Davidson, 43 plays, 241 yards. Can't get much closer than that, guys.
We talk about a momentum change. Look at the 4th quarter numbers. I mean, it's remarkable. I'm just very impressed with Westerville and their ability to fight and battle back, because there's a couple times where they're on the ropes and you really think, okay, Hilliard Davidson's going to go on one of these 10-play drives. They're going to stick it in the end zone. This game's going to be over, and that's not what has happened. Westerville South continues to battle back.
Favor nowhere to go, and down he goes. Alex Schmidt with the sack and a loss of 1.
You're here with a key drive in the 4th quarter without your starting quarterback and leader, Jonathan Jennings. So now, you know, they're going to really get a chance to see what Tevin Favor has in his bag of tricks, and if he's ready to lead this team, because I'm sure Coach Rocky Pentel would like to have a starting quarterback there, but Tevin's kept him in the game this far, and see if he can lead him downfield.
Play fake. He'll run it.
They called it!
And he is out at the 32-yard line. Did he get out of bounds? Kenny Klatt on the tackle. Yes, he did. It stops the clock. And a penalty flag is down after that 8-yard gain.
Will we win? Woo!
Yes. Dead ball. Personal foul on the offense. Dead ball. Personal foul on the defense. We offset.
A penalty really hurt Westerville South on their last drive. It spoiled everything that they had going as they were trying to tie it up. And fortunately for Westerville South, that was an offsetting situation.
Yep, it was. That would have been a backbreaker on this drive because you already got to mount a 75-yard drive. You've got all 3 timeouts, which is good, but you're inside of 3 minutes, so you almost have to play flawless football from here on in just to tie the ball game.
Favor caught by Tomlinson is short of the first down. He needed to get to the 35. And yeah, he did. He got it. He actually got it by about a half a yard. So Tomlinson picking up the first down.
Yeah, nice play by the Ball State commit, going up, getting the ball, bringing it in with his hands. Nice throw by Favor.
Clock moving. First down and 10. The play action pass. Over the middle. It's caught at midfield. What a catch by Evan Lease. The backup quarterback making a catch at the 50-yard line. A gain of 14.
Evan Lease, what a huge play securing the football because he takes a shot at the end of this play. Tevin Favor delivers an accurate ball, and then he takes a shot by Chase Delandy. The defensive back holds on to the football, but again, he moves the chains. First down here for Westerville.
Jackson, gain of a yard. So second down and 9 coming up on 2 minutes to go. All 3 timeouts remaining for Westerville South. And Tevin Favor, the senior quarterback, has had limited experience as the starter, trying to engineer a scoring drive that would tie this one up. Dumps it off short to Jackson. Makes a nice move at the 45-yard line. Has the first down at the 36. Jackson picks up 13. Clock will stop for them to move the chain.
Westerville South recognizes that Hilliard Davidson defense is going to bring a little bit of pressure. They don't want to continue to get knifed by those screen plays and by the zone read. It was a great play call, just dumping it to Jackson, letting him scoot for 10 yards to pick up the first.
Favor throws it out to the far sideline. It's caught by Tomlinson, and he's smart to work his way out of bounds. That's a senior for you. He understands the gravity of the situation, and it's going to bring up second down and 2.
Yep, 1:22 left with 3 timeouts. You got plenty of time now. It's a good field position, but you need to be cognizant. What killed them last time was that penalty. So their play selection and pay attention to your down and distance as well, because you're not going to get another opportunity here to punch it in.
But because of the timeouts, they don't need to strictly go past. They can still work Jackson in on some draws and stuff like that and stay true and try to keep that Hilliard Davidson a little bit off balance.
Still have all their timeouts left. Favor, another play fake, wants to throw, comes to the near side, underthrown, and Spencer Delandy almost picked it off.
Great play by Tomlinson coming in and breaking that pass up, because that seemed to be all but an interception. But the Ball State commit really did a nice job coming in there. Jack Tomlinson. Yeah, an offensive player needed to turn into a DB there, did. See that? And really stripped the ball out. Nice play by Tomlinson, keeping his drive alive when Favor made a decision and a throw he probably shouldn't have.
Third down and 2. 1:16 to play. Westerville South down a touchdown. First down, Tomlinson. What a catch at the 20. And he paid for it. Actually, that was Ryan Barber, and he took a shot from Spencer Delandy. A gain of 9. He'll move the chains with 1:11 to go.
Watch Tomlinson work into the secondary, and he just rotates back across the secondary. It was a great route structure in that Hilliard Davidson thought he was going to take an outside route. He planted his foot, came back into the middle. Accurate ball by Favorite. Tomlinson secures it, and they move the chains. Another key first down for Westerville.
So the first timeout used by Rocky Pintello, still has 2 remaining. Hilliard Davidson, incidentally, has all of their timeouts remaining. There's one of those haircuts. You see that? He had Wildcats sculpted into the side of his head. Let's see if we can listen in on Rocky's huddle.
Hey, on the 80s, what's your guy doing when we run that smash? Is he staying with you, the free safety? So let's try. Can we run a doubles right flanker to go? You push off, bang, and hit the post right now. I want you to push the guy straight to the end zone. 50, 60, you're going to come under. I want you on the ball. Okay. Take it to the post.
You guys got to give him time to go. 50, 60. 50, 60, but you know
doubles right flanker. Yes.
He's off the ball.
Jack, you're off the ball. Barber, you're on the ball.
So wait, am I playing? Let's go.
Rocky has been the head coach and offensive coordinator at Westerville South now for the better part of 2 decades. His son Rocco was an outstanding quarterback at the school, now a sophomore defensive back at Ohio State. And speaking of quarterbacks, I think he has found a guy in Tevin Favor that he can trust this offense with. First and 10 at the 20. Favor steps out of a tackle. Pressured. Did he get it away? It's going to be marked down at the 25-yard line. Did he get that pass away in time, guys?
Tevin Favor was trying to ground the football, and the referees were confused a little bit about whether the ball popped out. Regardless of that, the ball's going to be spotted on the 25, and Westerville's still going to retain the football. Favor gets caught up in traffic. He's trying to buy some time. You're going to see once he gets closed down here, he just reaches out and throws the football. Luckily for Westerville, it gets out of bounds.
It looks like they made it an incomplete pass.
That's what I'm saying.
What for? I don't know.
So Favor, as we take another look, gets it away in time. Hilliard Davidson fans don't like the call. They saw the replay you saw at home.
Certainly Tevin got creative there, though.
Second down and 10, 56 seconds to go. Play fake. Favor has time. Caught at the 15-yard line. Pat Doherty just lays a hard hit. Well, they're going to say this one was incomplete. Pat Doherty nailing Ryan Barber to knock that one loose.
I think they're still trying to get Barber off there. I think Barber's on the ground. I think Pat Doherty. The ball was actually jarred loose on the play.
Barber is still down. Doherty, 200-pound senior linebacker, really put a shot on Ryan Barber.
Barber's coming across the middle, doesn't see Doherty, number 46. Doherty hits him up in the chest area. The ball is jarred loose, but I think the official already called the play dead at that point.
It was ruled incomplete, so it's 3rd down and 10 coming up with 47 seconds to go as they're attending to Ryan Barber. Barber, 4 catches today for 60 yards. He is getting some attention. Considering Bowling Green one of his options. He was hoping for a great senior season here in 2009 to augment potential college options.
Yeah, Coach Rocky Pantello said that he's one of those guys that college coaches have expressed to them. We want to see some senior film. We like what we've seen, but we want to see a little bit more. We want to go out and see how he performs as a senior. So, you know, up for him to have a kind of a big year to see what kind of offers he can get on the table with a player here early in the season.
Barber makes his way off. There's Doherty. Remember the Wildcats lacrosse team. A lot of lacrosse guys in our first game today and here in this game as well. Sport that's catching out. He's a tough guy, and that's a tough sport too.
Tough sport, but keep in mind he came back from that broken leg last year. I mean, think about the rehab necessary to not only get back in lacrosse, but get back in football playing shape. He's done a nice job for Hilliard Davidson today as one of the bookends of that defense.
Critical play here. Favor. Being chased by Doherty. Gets away. And he is going to be close to a first down. What an effort by Tevin Favor. 37 seconds to go, and he got the first down. It will be goal to go for Westerville South.
This is just pure athleticism by Tevin Favor. Hilliard Davidson gets pressure. The coverage by Hilliard Davidson downfield in the secondary was outstanding. There's just nowhere to throw the football. This is just pure athleticism. Tevin Favor recognizes where the chains are, tucks the ball, and picks up the first down.
Penalty flag. This is going to be a false start on Westerville South.
Certainly a clutch play by Tevin.
False start on the offense. Still first down.
Well, I was going to say, it was a clutch play by Tevin Favor, and coming into this game, Rocky Bantella was hoping that Tevin will be able to fill the shoes of Jonathan Jennings, because he was such a team leader. And I think throughout the second half of the game, I think he's shown a lot of maturity that he can be the guy to lead this team in Jennings' absence.
2 timeouts remaining, 23 seconds and ticking down. Favor. It's caught. And inside the 10-yard line, as Westerville South quickly calls a timeout. Jack Tomlinson making that catch, and Rocky Pentello quickly calling a timeout as they have 1 remaining with 11 seconds to go.
Having a mobile quarterback in the red zone, great attribute on the offensive side of the ball, because the windows and the running lanes inside the red zone collapse so much that Tevin Favor, worst case scenario, if he can't find anybody, having that pure athleticism and his ability to create could be the difference down here in the red zone. I mean, look at his, not only, he's only picked up 30 yards rushing the football, but 2 big conversions on scrambles, creating plays out of nothing.
And they've got the 1 timeout, so it gives them some options. They don't necessarily need to throw into the end zone. If they want to throw short and see if they can run in, they've got options. If he gets tackled before, they can still call a timeout.
Absolutely, and you look at the drive. When they started, they had to go 75 yards to mount this drive. They went with the short passing game. Jackson ran well, but this has basically been Tevin Favor. This has been his coming out party, his drive, and on that last play that was used because the secondary for Hilliard Davidson had all the receivers locked up. Tevin Favor had nowhere to go with the football. He scrambles, recognizes where the sticks are, converts it. Huge play for Westerville.
He's getting his shot to be the starter. And boy, he has done an excellent job today. This will be the 14th play of the drive, but it's not going to matter much if they can't punch it in to tie this game up. 11 seconds to go. Favor lobs it to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Jack Tomlinson! What a drive.
Seemed like it might have been an ill-fated throw at the time, but Jack Tomlinson, went up there and got the ball. Now the question is, do you try to get out of here with the win, go for 2?
Tevin Favor, it looks like that he's just trying to get rid of the football. He puts it up, allows his playmaker Jack Tomlinson just to go up over the top. And guess who's playing defensive back for Hilliard Davidson? It's their quarterback, number 6, Jake Trubiano. So they put Trubiano in there just to get more athleticism on the field. But Tomlinson, that's just a great playmaker, going up over the defensive back, securing the football, coming up with the big score.
And he's not a 6'3" type. He's only about 5'9", 5'10". He showed great vertical and concentration and really had to go in front of Trubiano to get the ball.
This is a long discussion over there on that Westerville South sideline. Here's another look.
Outstanding play. You see Trubiano, he's in position, and Tomlinson goes up and gets the ball. Really just wanted it more, it seems, in that situation.
Rocky Pintello is going to roll the dice. They are going for the win. And now a timeout being called by Hilliard Davidson, it appears. Nope. Here we go. This will decide it. Favor to the end zone. Knocked down, incomplete. Jake Trubiano redeems himself with a great play, and Hilliard Davidson holds on to the lead.
Certainly a gutsy call, and got the ball there. Just nice play by the defensive back, breaking it up.
That play for Westerville South has worked all day. It was basically a modified version of a slip screen to Tomlinson. This is just a slant route. Trubiano recognizes it early at the corner position, jumps the route, gets his right hand in there, and bats the football away. That is a hard play to make and avoid the penalty. You can hear the fans booing right now because when you're trying to keep that wide receiver from coming across your face, there's body contact, and it happens all the time. He didn't get the flag. He got a hand in there, got the football away, and it appears that Hilliard Davidson's now going to be able to run out the clock and get out of here with the win. That was a huge play by number 6, Trubiano.
He may have been there a little bit early, but it was nice coverage. He broke on the ball, and he was able to break it up. And I mean, it was a great job by Westerville South getting themselves in his position, and a gutsy call by Rocky Pintello just didn't work out for him.
So Brian White and the Hilliard Davidson Wildcats just 5 seconds away from getting out of here with a win in the season opener.
You know, the one option is an onside kick. There's only 5 seconds, so it's got to happen quick. They've got to really, cover those 10 yards and get it. But, they're out of time. The game's more or less over, but you never know. Never say never. They could possibly pull out a trick here. I just don't think there's enough time for them.
Here's the touchdown. Tomlinson over the top of Trubiano. Then Faber tried to go back to Tomlinson for the 2-point conversion and the go-ahead score, but Trubiano redeemed himself with a great play, and there's Rocky Pintello looking for the penalty flag. And we'll try the onside kick. Clay Props is the kicker. And it's got to go 10 yards, and I don't think it did.
Actually, I think it hit a Westerville South player before it even traveled 10 yards. But obviously, Westerville South nothing to lose there by trying for it.
3 seconds remaining, and Hilliard Davidson is about ready to come away with a win in the season opener. And a hard-fought win this will be.
First touching. Here. First down.
What a game. Both of these teams play in the Ohio Capital Conference. They're not in the same division. Westerville South is in the Cardinal division with Olentangy Liberty, a team we will see tomorrow. Hilliard Davidson plays in the Central division with Dublin Kaufman and Upper Arlington. Teams also here at the Varsity Football Series.
Both coaches told us we don't expect another blowout like it was last year, and they certainly hit the nail on the head. This was a very tough game, had its momentum swings, but in the end, Hilliard Davidson able to hold on.
It looked like for a while there that Jake Trubiano would be the guy that would be the most disappointed of anybody on the field, but he really came back and made a huge play on that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, what leadership and jumping that route. That's such a hard pattern to cover, and the fact that they even put him in the game tells you a lot about what they think of his heart and his character, putting him back in the football game in that key situation as a defensive back after he played the whole game at the quarterback position.
In a running touchdown, a passing touchdown, and here's our player of the game. It's brought to you by Burger King. He is our king of the game, in fact. Jake Trubiano, the senior quarterback, and it was actually his play on defense that ended up being critical in the late stages. 21-20, guys, a well-played game and entertaining one to end the day.
It certainly was. It's exactly what I expected, and I really give a lot of credit to both teams for battling back and forth, because I really thought Westerville South was going to have trouble getting back into it. They did. They were successful in doing that. The Hilliard Davidson showed a lot of character, battling back, securing the win.
Yeah, you know, Hilliard Davidson actually walks out of here with the win. They feel good about it, but Westerville South has to feel good about fighting back in this game and finding their quarterback possibly for the year. You know, with John Jennings gone now, Tevin Favor looks like he could be the man.
21-20, the final. Up next, the 2009 Heisman Trophy preseason preview presented by Nissan. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Craig Hobber and John Berger, I'm Clay Mathick. So long from Columbus. It was a great day of high school football. Hilliard Davidson with a big win in the opener.